During a family dinner with my parents, I received a text message from an unexpected number telling me to get up and leave immediately without saying anything to my parents. I chose to obey the message, which is how I discovered the truth. The next day, the police arrived at their front door. What's strange is how normal everything felt right before it unraveled. I hadn't expected Hug's warmth or anything emotional, but I wasn't prepared for what happened, which now feels like the most deadly type of trap. When everything seems normal, you let your guard down. That's when it takes you off guard. When I stepped inside, my mother quickly shouted out from the kitchen, "We're just about to eat, come on in." It seemed as if I had arrived late to a celebratory party. When I entered the dining room, my father rose from his seat, albeit slowly. He appeared to be wondering whether we were going to hug or just nod politely. We nodded. Of course, my sister was already at the table swiping through her phone with the practiced teenage apathy she still possessed. She looked up briefly to acknowledge me before returning to her screen, giving only the absolute minimum of attention. That did not concern me. I was not there to win anyone over. The table was properly set. My seat had been pushed out for me. As usual, a glass of cranberry juice awaited me at home. Not spiced with holiday flair, not cute or curated, just basic juice the way I used to like. My mother smiled at me as if we were pretending to be close. "You still enjoy cranberries, correct?" she asked. I nodded. I hadn't touched the stuff in months, and this wasn't the time to start a conversation. We sat down. They served the food. It was simple fare. My father continued to pretend to eat chicken potatoes and some kind of green beans, despite the fact that we all knew better. The conversation remained light. "How is work going?" "Still in the same apartment. Isn't traffic bad lately?" I replied. I smiled. I even giggled when my sister mentioned a coworker who became stuck in her building's spinning doors, not because it was humorous, but because I knew how to play my role. The quiet one. The reliable one. The person who did not stir the pot. My phone buzzed in my lap while my father was ranting about road construction. Without thinking, I checked beneath the table. The message was brief, with no names, emojis, or casual punctuation, simply lines that ended with solid periods as if someone was desperately attempting to seem calm. "Get up and leave now. Do not mention anything to your parents." I stared at it before reading it again. The room moved around me, my mother nodding along to whatever my father was saying, my sister chewing her food, everything proceeding as usual for a family dinner, and yet I was instructed to go. I remained motionless, as if the house had suddenly become a hazardous zone. Not right away. A dozen explanations ran through my mind. Perhaps it was a hoax, a misdial, a scam, or the start of some social experiment I hadn't agreed to. But deep down, I knew it wasn't one of those. Somehow, I knew. "I'll be right back," I murmured, moving my chair away from the table. "I just need to use the bathroom." Nobody questioned it. Nobody even looked up. I grabbed my phone and proceeded upstairs because the upstairs restroom had a door that closed completely and latched without jamming. And if someone was going to have a private chat in this mansion, it was not going to be on the first level. I locked the door, sat on the side of the bathtub, and stared at the message once more. Then I pressed call. It rang once, followed by a voice. "Are you still there? Who is this? It's Mark. Mark, my sister's boyfriend or ex-boyfriend." It was difficult to keep up. What the hell is going on? His voice was low and tight, as if he were standing somewhere he shouldn't be. "You should depart. Simply get up. Step out. Do not drink anything. Just go. Do not drink the juice." My mouth was dry. I had not touched the juice. "Not yet. Why I cannot. Please trust me. Please." "What's this?" I asked. "Why are you even... What's happening?" He paused. "Get out of there. Not until you explain why." He said something then. I did not respond. I sat there for a while after the phone ended, long enough to feel the cold of the bathroom tiles through my clothes, long enough to realize I had a decision and had already made it. Just a quick note, this story is copyrighted by the YouTube channel Revenge with Claire. Reposting, revoicing, or modifying it without authorization constitutes copyright violation. Thank you for honoring original creative work. Now return to the story. Being the older sister came with no ceremony, only duty. Quiet, assumed, and unending. We were 3 years apart. "When we were kids, our parents gave us $5 per week. I've saved my..." "She did not." A few days later, she'd spent it all on gum glitter pens or whatever the elementary school economy was based on. And then she would gaze at me. That's when the adults stepped in. She does not have any left. You still do. Do not be selfish. That's how it began. Not a rule, but a pattern. If I saved, I was supposed to share. If she overspent, I was expected to make things right. In high school, I landed a part-time work at a drugstore for a couple of weekends, which was enough to pay for my own clothes without issue. My sister did not work. She was young, and no one expected her to. Guess who got prodded if she wanted something extra? She genuinely wants to see the film. She does not yet have her own money. You do. They still provided the necessities, but anything beyond that became my responsibility. When I departed for college, things settled down. I was busy broke and 2 states away. My sister was still in high school, and it felt like I had bought some time for myself. Then I graduated and obtained a junior developer position with entry-level wages and basic benefits, just enough to meet rent and loan obligations. My parents, however, saw it as a windfall. The requests started slowly. Could you help her with the enrollment deposit? Books are so pricey these days. She's just very stressed. She's just started college and is studying something remotely linked to finance. She didn't work budgeted or asked me directly. This was always the pattern. She would ask and they would ask me. And at first I said yes because I figured that now that I was earning helping would feel easier. It did not. They wanted more and more of what I made, but it never seemed like mine. Then there was alcohol. In my early 20s, I discovered that my body can't tolerate it. After half a drink, I'm out. I once fainted out after just 2 swallows of wine. Nothing has happened since then. Not even champagne is served during weddings. My family had always known, but genuinely embracing it was another story. Come on just a bit. Do not be such a stick in the mud. It's not like you have allergies. I would decline. They'd roll their eyes thinking I was being unreasonable. But it was never truly about the alcohol. It was about how easy they rejected me when the situation didn't suit them. A few years into my profession, I received a mid-level promotion. It was not innovative, but it was a significant step forward. I called my folks to tell them the news. My mother said, "That's fantastic. So how much do you earn now?" Then the question came up, "Do you think you could help your sister with her semester abroad?" She's quite excited about it. No congratulations, the same routine. Ask, expect, move on. So I stopped saying yes. There was no lengthy discourse about setting boundaries. I just stopped softly. No more just once. No more treating my bank account as a community pot. Perhaps I'd still get her a coffee now and then. But what is the role of the sponsor retired? Then came the quiet. No texts, no telephone calls. Just a heavy silence that nonetheless felt loud, like if they were punishing me with their absence. Weeks have passed. The silence finally broke. "Your sister needs assistance. This is serious." They floated a number. $12,000. They would not explain why. Only that she needed it. I could afford it, that I am her sister. I refused. They continued pressing, so I called her personally. And that's when the truth emerged. She had been gambling. She had lost. Now she owed money. Money she couldn't afford. She worked in finance currently. If this came out, she'd lose more than just her job. This would be the end of her career. She stated that no one hires someone with a gambling background in this area. If people find out, I'm done. I inquired, has this happened before? She did not respond. But I didn't really need her to. I told her straight up. No, not later, not halfway. Just no. I've been helping you for as long as I can remember, I said. But this, I will not cover it. Not this time. Not ever again. She called me cold. They told me I didn't comprehend. Maybe she was correct. Maybe I just didn't want to. Then they shut me off. 3 weeks of complete stillness. Then began the slow return. My dad forwarded me a meme. My mom sent me a picture of the backyard. My sister sent me a TikTok. There's no caption. And soon an invitation. We are having dinner. It's just the family. I hope you will come. There is no mention of the money. No apologies. Just dinner. I convinced myself that they had accepted it. That they would accept where I stood. So when they asked me to join, I agreed. But something about Brian seemed wrong. His speech was quiet and almost lifeless. However, there was tension hidden beneath. It's the juice, he explained quietly. I guess they added something to it. Alcohol, perhaps, or something else. I am not sure. but I believe they are arranging for you to pass out. The room surrounding us was completely silent. The floor is covered in white tiles. The quiet whirring of a ceiling fan, distant clinks of silverware from downstairs. I did not respond. Why, I eventually asked. Another brief silence. They want to unlock your phone. Use your fingerprints. I picked up the glass, tilted it slightly, and smiled briefly. It tastes like I remember, I said, but I did not drink a drop. Later, I casually inquired, "Is that someone pulling into the driveway?" Everyone turned to look. That's when I gently moved the glass beneath the table, angled it, and let the juice drip into the carpet. Not the entire thing. Only enough to sell it. It soaked in immediately. I just feel uncomfortable. Tired. My mother leaned in. Her eyes were warm and concerned, like if we were playing a new game. You okay? Yes, I said. Just a little woozy. I suppose I should lie down for a minute. Nobody hesitated. They helped me onto the couch as if I were valuable, as if they were guardians rather than robbers. I lay down, closed my eyes, and tried not to think about how rapidly my heart was thumping. Just breathe evenly. Slow. Do not flinch. The couch cushion felt warm against my shoulder. Someone placed a blanket over my legs, and I heard something. Is she sleeping? My mother whispered. Yeah, she's gone, my sister said. Okay, my father replied. Let us do this swiftly. I heard my phone being picked up. Then there was something worse. Fingers curl around my hand. My thumb was lifted gently but purposefully. My flesh pressed against the sensor. A pause. Then came a faint vibration. Unlocked. There was a quiet horror about it. Casual coordination. They did not hesitate. They just did it. Okay, my sister whispered. We are in. More taps. The sound of numbers being entered. My father murmured the routing number beneath his breath. She has saved everything. How much are we doing? My mother inquired. Not all of it, my father said. Just enough to resolve it. What does it mean to settle? I kept my breathing steady. I kept my eyes closed. She won't know. My mother said if it goes through cleanly, she'll think she transferred it herself. I told you, my sister remarked. She always passes out after a drink. We only needed her to sleep through it. There it was spoken out. The three of them together. A tap. A pause. My sister said it was asking for a code. Code, my mother said. Two-step verification. My sister mumbled. She modified it. My father cursed under his breath. A gentle annoyed sigh. Try another app. Tapping. Still tapping. Same stuff. Everything is locked. They sat silently for a second. My mother then said, Just put the phone back. They did. No apologies, no second guessing, without hesitation. I waited. Give them room to sit down again. Reassure themselves. Then I opened my eyes. Sit up slowly. Blinked like someone who has just awoken from a short slumber. Sorry, I replied. I don't know what that was. I felt like I had passed out for a second. They gazed at me as if they had no idea what I was. Are you sure you are okay? My father inquired. Yes, I said. I believe all I need is some fresh air. I picked up my phone, held it as if nothing had occurred, as if it hadn't just been turned on me. Actually, I guess I'm going to go home. I have work early tomorrow. They nodded. No one protested. There is no awkward offer to walk me out. Just a gentle chorus of, Thank you for coming. Get home safely. Please let us know when you are back. As if we hadn't just crossed a line beyond which we couldn't return. We hugged at the door, just as we always do. My mom, my dad, my sister, one after another. It was not intended. It's just happened. Habit, tradition, reflex. As soon as it began, something cracked. My mother's perfume, my father's jacket, my sister's hand is touching my arm. Normal things. Things are familiar. All of them were poisoned. Now I could feel it rising in my chest. I didn't know how to carry this weight. I thought this was the final time. This is the final time I'll hug them. We won't be able to recover after tonight. I nearly cried. I almost did, though. I stepped back. I smiled as if I wasn't breaking open. Thank you for dinner, I said. They smiled. I opened the door and departed. I did not tell them what I know. I didn't inquire what was in the glass. I didn't say anything. But before I left the bathroom that night, I did something they didn't expect. I didn't prevent them from getting into my phone. I made it simple. They left the fingerprint access exactly where they expected it. I did alter my bank security. I enabled two-factor authentication. Not the easy type, real verification, something they couldn't imitate with my thumb. So when they attempted to transfer money, the software would record the attempt, halt the transaction, and leave a trail. Then I set up the recorder. Not with a visible red light or blinking dot. If they had seen it, it would not have worked. But I know how to play sounds in the background. No alerts. There are no visible applications. There's nothing on the screen. That is the portion they did not get. I work in technology. I create systems for those who want to outsmart others, and I knew precisely what they would overlook. They were taping themselves while they unlocked my phone and attempted to steal it. Every syllable, every try, all of it. They assumed I was unconscious. But the truth is, I was ahead of them before I even returned to the table. I drove to the police station as if I were going to the supermarket. Not fast, not shaking. Just be steady. I parked, stepped in, and waited in line behind a man inquiring about parking tickets. And then I explained to the woman behind the glass that I needed to report a crime. She inquired what kind. They drugged me, I said, and attempted to take from me. I have a recording. She blinked. Do you know who did it? Yes, I answered. My parents and sister. That was when she stopped blinking. They seated me in a quiet room with an officer who did not question why I hadn't gone to the hospital or why I wasn't crying. He was just listening. I played the audio clip. He sat through the whole affair before asking, "Do you understand what they were trying to do?" Yes, I responded. They were chasing my money. I sent him the file, highlighted the timestamps, and guided him through the activity logs on my banking app. He nodded regularly, took notes, and diligently wrote into a computer system that appeared to be at least a decade old. This is serious, he explained. I gave a slight shrug. Yes, it was. He inquired whether I was okay, if I had a place to stay, and if I needed any help. I told him that I had already departed. It was my first time submitting a police report, but I was not terrified. Not anymore. 2 days later, my phone kept buzzing incessantly. 3 texts and a voicemail arrived before noon. The first was from my mother. "Have you actually reported your own family? So what is wrong with you?" I did not respond. My sister left a voicemail. Her voice sounded tight and weak. "It was simply a mistake. You made the situation worse than it needed to be." My dad then called me. I also let it go to voicemail. "Do you believe the cops will fix it?" he said. "You are going to destroy everything." "You do not do this to your own people," I texted back once. "You made me take a medication." "You attempted to rob me. That's not family. It's a felony." Then I blocked them all. Mom, Dad, my sister, group chats, every contact, and emergency bypasses. I changed my phone number, revised my will, and froze my credit just in case. I expected cutting ties to sting more, but it didn't. It felt as if I could finally breathe. They did not challenge the accusations, not after the audio. Not after the bank attempts were exactly matched with the timestamps, and not after the detective stated, "We can handle this easily." Attempting fraud, biometric misuse, conspiracy, and providing a substance without consent, all 3 combined. I did not have to say anything because the recording did it. They received probation for a year, fines, community service, a no-contact order, and no prison time, but the stain lingered. I never contacted out or inquired about the outcome, but word inevitably gets around. A cousin from my father's side said that they had sold the house, debt, legal bills, and attempting to salvage what was left. Nobody in the family reacted, just stillness. In terms of my sister, I only saw her once by coincidence at a grocery shop across town. She didn't notice me, or perhaps she did, and just stared at the shelf as if it had all the answers. She was wearing a shirt and a vest, stacking paper towels while avoiding eye contact. Guess finance wasn't a good fit after all. I said nothing, simply paid for my pasta and walked out. Her boyfriend gone. I learned that via a mutual acquaintance. Not someone close, but someone who nevertheless keeps an eye on everyone. Apparently, he moved out a few weeks after everything became public. There was no drama, simply packing up and disappearing. Some things do not require explanations. They speak for themselves. And me, I don't get texts asking for assistance anymore. There will be no more group talks and no more guilt served as obligation. I work and I sleep. When I open my refrigerator, I know that everything within was purchased by me for myself. I felt cutting ties would be unpleasant. Instead, it felt clean. So what are your thoughts? Have I gone too far or not far enough? Leave a comment below and remember to subscribe for more.